Christmas came early this year for 3D printing enthusiasts, with everyone from AnyCubic to Prusa releasing a whole slew of exciting new 3D printers and accessories at FormNext 2024. But in case you didn't have 4 days to fly over, comb through 54,000 square meters of exhibition space, fraternize with all manner of 3D printing industry insiders, and catch a nasty cold in the process, fear not, because in this video, I'm going to condense it all down to only the top consumer-grade products that you'll actually be able to buy in 2025 and what we already know about them. Now, we're going to go through these products like a train in the night, so buckle up, pay attention, and let's get after it. The folks over at Prusa blew everyone's minds right on day one by unveiling the printer we've all been waiting for, the Core One, a Core XY fully enclosed high-speed printer that will compete with the Bambu Lab X1 Carbon on price. This machine features active chamber temperature control without the need for a separate heating element, a 30% increased build volume due to a higher Z height, insane 70+ degree overhangs due to optimized cooling, and a number of other clever design features that will allow Prusa to, get this, scale it up both in size and manufacture it anywhere in the world if they want to in the future. The Core One works with Prusa's own MMU3, as well as the existing Nextruder nozzles and parts, and believe it or not, it can also be upgraded to from an existing MK4S. Prusa definitely came out guns a-blazing this year, going as far as to tease some of the future products, and let's just say production optimizations that they've been working hard on, and they even showed off some future upgrades like an integrated dry box. Heck, they even made this stunning Bambu furniture version of the Core One that most people have agreed they should actually put into production. The standard Core One, however, should hopefully be here in the studio for us to check out pretty soon, and it is also already available for pre-order by the general public for $1,199 assembled or $949 later as a kit. So if you wish to support the channel, there are going to be affiliate links to all the products that are currently available in this video down below. One company with a much quieter release was Sovol, who quietly debuted a prototype of their new SV08 Mini. This Voron V0 inspired open source machine features a 150mm3 build volume, eddy current sensor for perfect first layers, tempered glass door and lid, and a readily upgradable design and tool head, though it does still use that proprietary nozzle that I don't like. Sovol is still determining the price and waiting on the final injection molds, but I am trying to convince them to sell it for no more than $349. Stay tuned and make sure you are subscribed, because they promise to send me a review unit to share with all of you as soon as those are available. AnyCubic also rocked up to FormNext with a number of new machines this year, the most exciting of which was probably the S1 combo. Now, I won't beat around the bush here. This printer is unabashedly and undeniably very similar to a Bambu Lab P1S. You're going to see a lot of that in this video. It's 250 by 250 by 250. It has similar print speeds, it poops out the back, and it has proprietary firmware. It does, however, seem to use both standard Volcano V6 nozzles and a one-hand quick swappable hot end, and unlike anything else on the market right now, the Ace Pro multi-material system does act as a filament dryer, which will be super useful if you want to try multicolor PETG prints. Unfortunately, there's no pricing or release dates yet, but I will put them right down here if I do manage to get any more info before this video goes live. But also, AnyCubic has already said that they're going to send one over so we can have a look at it. So yeah, stay tuned. Oh, and by the way, AnyCubic also let me know that they took my suggestion and their new slicer is now based on Orca Slicer, but I think something was lost in translation, because my actual suggestion was just to ditch having their own slicer and just use actual mainline Orca Slicer rather than making their own. I guess it's progress though. AnyCubic also lived up to their long-standing reputation of releasing ridiculously massive versions of their smaller bed slingers, releasing the Kobra 3 Max, a 420 by 420 by 500mm beast of a thing that also pairs with the Ace Pro. Now, I don't even want to think about how long it would take to print a 4-color print that took up the entire build volume of this machine, but hey, for those of you who want to print helmets or cosplay stuff, this will probably be a game changer for you. It features dual Y motors, a quick release hot end, and all that stuff. Once again, I don't think we have pricing or release dates for this machine just yet, but I will update that AnyCubic did tell me they are now open sourcing the firmware for both this and the Kobra 3 as obligated by the Klipper license, which is a good thing. Still waiting on pricing and release data for these as of recording, but let's see if we've gotten them. Do we have the price? By the way, one last note on AnyCubic, they did also release some new resin printers, the Mono M7 and M7 Pro, but in the interest of time, I chose not to cover those here. You can check out the full details on their website using the link in the description. Perhaps one of the most interesting products at the entire FormNext show, for me at least, wasn't actually a 3D printer at all, but rather BigTreeTech's new VVD or Vivid multi-material system for Voron and Klipper machines. This machine device, I don't know what to call it, will feature the ability to print not just 4 colors, but also to daisy chain VVD units together for additional colors. The filament swaps are also around 30 seconds faster than a Bambu Lab AMS unit. Oh, and get this, they're actually going to offer a version with a dryer and one without a dryer, which again is going to be super useful if you want to be able to dry and print multicolor with something like PETG. Now it works with the existing Filametrix filament cutter design out there for the Stealth Burner toolhead, but there will, I'm sure, be more toolhead designs and upgrades once the community gets their hands on it. It also will eventually offer RFID scanning of any type of spool, yes, including Bambu Lab RFID tags. It features an integrated filament buffer and Hall effect sensor for monitoring swaps, and hopefully, they're hoping to be able to integrate it into mainline Klipper and release a modified version of Klipper Screen, which should obviate the need for additional software like Happy Hair. Oh, and it has these nice customizable LEDs on the front. I think you have 4 or 8 for each one, so you can actually program them to do different things in different colors. Now, pricing is expected to be somewhere between, get this, $200 and $300, but BigTreeTech is not agreeing to relinquish even alpha testing units until February because they really want to ensure that they get this thing absolutely perfect, which I don't blame them. Stay tuned for more information. Another surprise or series of surprises at the BigTreeTech booth this year was the discovery that somehow BigTreeTech has come up with even more upgrades for the Bambu Lab lineup of printers. These included an adaptation of their Nomi toolhead screen for the A1 and A1 Mini, an auxiliary cooling fan setup for the A1, a CPAP cooling conversion for the X1 and P1 series if you're out of your mind, and an ultra high flow V6 compatible ceramic hot end for the X1 and P1 called Panda Flow, and actually also a chamber temperature sensor for the P1 series, and even an upgraded scraper. Honestly, I already had a really hard time keeping track of all the different products in this Panda lineup, but I'm actually super glad to see affordable and third-party upgrades and replacement parts from someone besides the OEM. And I've been really blown away with all the products in the lineup so far, so I'm pretty excited about these ones. Pricing and details will hopefully be on BTT's site by the time you see this, so do check the link in the description for more information. Now, another company that's been quite prolific recently is FLSun, releasing the S1, T1, T1 Pro, and now the S1 Pro, all in just the last 6 or 8 months. The S1 Pro made its big, and I do mean big, debut at FormNext, and it features a much quieter cooling system, slick, extra-large touchscreen, and the ability to print composite filaments right out of the box. It also has a much larger build volume compared to the T1 Pro that I recently reviewed. Now, this one is coming out soon, and the price will be something around $700, but because of the sheer size of this thing, I'm actually not sure whether or not I will accept one for review. So do let me know in the comments if it's something that's important for all of you to see, and I'll try to find space for it. Now, a company that has not been prolific in releasing a lot of printers recently is Elegoo, a company that has had to delay the release of their flagship Centauri Carbon Core XY printer for months and months due to reasons. The Centauri Carbon's feature set is honestly very similar to, well, every other Core XY machine currently coming onto the market, and it's perhaps unique for the fact that it doesn't seem to have plans to add a multicolor system attached to it, at least not yet. Though, to its credit, it does seem to offer better chamber cooling than many of the other players in the market. Now, from what I could tell from my conversations with Elegoo's team at their booth, this one is really going to compete on price, aiming to give similar or even better quality and speed as the Bambu Lab lineup, but at a sub $100 price, which would be seriously impressive if they can pull it off, and it might just accelerate the ongoing extinction of budget bed slingers in 2025. Now, unfortunately, I probably won't be able to get my hands on this one. Apparently, Elegoo doesn't have a logistics partner that can ship to my area, but I will link in the description below if you want to check it out and find out more details on their website. One other exciting printer that showed up at FormNext this year was the HeyGears UltraCraft Reflex RS, a premium resin printer most notable for its soup to nuts ecosystem, from hardware to software to resin. Now, I normally don't care too much about resin printers, but because it has so many different ease of use features, this is honestly the first resin printer that I could actually see myself regularly using. The RS offers incredibly easy one-click slicing, ultra high quality resin prints, and tons of ease of use features like auto bed leveling, residue detection, intelligent exposure adaptation, auto resin loading, and much, much more. I actually did a full video, a sponsored video about this one last week, and I did get to spend quite a few hours using these machines, so I will link you to that video right up here. Now, the retail price on the RS is $9.99, but they may still have some Black Friday specials going on, so if you're looking for a resin printer that won't constantly fail or be a total headache to use, I do recommend checking it out. At this point in the video, you've probably seen some printers or upgrades that you'd like to pick up, and that means not only assembling, but also customizing those parts, or just doing fun new projects with the capabilities that they add to your arsenal. And for that, you're going to want some high quality tools that you actually enjoy using. And that's where this video's sponsor, Fantic, comes into play. They offer premium quality maker tools such as electric screwdrivers or soldering irons and much, much more to help you with your next project. The E1 Max screwdriver I have here comes with 50 hardened bits in a beautiful and high quality carrying case. It offers a 0.2/0.5 Newton meter torque, 200 RPM speed, and enough battery power to keep you working on your project for more than 2 hours. And their T1 Max soldering iron comes complete with everything you need for a comfortable and enjoyable working experience, including going up to 450C. Best of all, they are currently offering their products at incredible prices for TNL subscribers. You can actually get 48% off the E1 Max screwdriver or 33% off of the T1 Max soldering iron kit using the coupon codes on screen now or in the description. Thanks again to Fantic for sponsoring this part of the video. And now let's get back to some 3D printing products. All right, speaking of machines that you will need to assemble yourself, Creality released a new printer specifically targeted at makers and modders, the Ender 5 Max. Now, this is basically an open frame, large format Core XY machine that boasts a massive build volume, high speed, and honestly, I don't know what else. They really didn't emphasize this in their booth, and I almost missed it entirely. But I am hoping to get more details tomorrow, so if I do, they'll show up right here somewhere. Now, another maker machine that Creality unveiled was an addition to their existing Falcon enclosed laser line, or maybe 2 additions? I'm actually not sure because in true Creality fashion, there are already a bunch of different models and it is already pretty confusing to tell them apart. They had this large one on display, which may have been the Falcon A1, but then there was the Falcon 2 Plus, which is smaller, but then the placard in front of it said Falcon 2 Pro. Is it Pro or is it Plus? Which one did I actually see? Was I dreaming? What is reality anyways? This smaller one comes with a bunch of nifty and much needed features in my opinion, including a built-in camera, a wide range of diodes to choose from, all the way up to 60 watts, which is absolutely crazy for a diode laser, and even the ability to engrave different colors on metals. Now, I'm not sure about the name, so I definitely don't know about the price, but here's what I've found out since recording this. Now, you didn't think that was all of the Core XY printers with multicolor capabilities that came out, did you? Because Flashforge rocked up to the show quietly with their AD5X printer, complete with an integrated multicolor system that actually mounts the spring-loaded spool holders directly onto the printer. Apparently, it can even do multicolor TPU printing, which is something we haven't seen yet. But I know what you're thinking, and yes, this is actually the finished printer, but Flashforge does say that they plan to offer DIY enclosure kits that mix hardware, printed parts, and laser cut panels, probably for an extra $30 to $50 so you can customize your own. And if you, like me, are wondering what makes this thing unique to some of the other offerings that have been on the market for nearly 2 years, I'd have to say it's probably the price. This entire system, including the multi-material capability, is going to sell for $449. I'm actually salivating just thinking about it. Might be the cold medication. That's the same price as the Bambu Lab P1P, but with the 4-color multi-printing included. So link in the description. Now, E3D was also at FormNext, and they were sharing a booth with none other than the folks over at Diamondback. And when I asked them, hey guys, what's new? I was told, we're putting diamonds in everything. And they're not kidding. In addition to every possible V6, Mark 8, and Revo variant getting diamonds already, there are now even Prusa Nextruder versions with diamonds. And I was actually lucky, thank you Georgia, to snag a yet unreleased 0.6mm version for the Prusa Nextruder. Hopefully, I'll get to put it on that Core One that I'm eagerly awaiting. Now, to check out the full list of E3D and Diamondback products, well, you know what to do. Phaetus was also exhibiting at the show, but actually didn't seem to have any big new announcements, at least not if you're already familiar with their conch hot ends and their sick end coat coated nozzle lineup. But hey, I did get some nice footage of their products, so why not show you guys, right? Now, I would be remiss if I didn't mention and thank 3D Maker Pro, who was actually kind enough to fly me out to FormNext and pay for my hotels so that I could do some fun presentations with their new 3D scanners, scanning people's faces or projects and then giving them thumb drives of the 3D scans. There were really 2 interesting new scanners, at least for consumers, this year. The first was the Moose, which uses structured blue light for significantly better and more reliable results than previous scanners that I've ever tried. It has an ultra compact form factor and a super attractive price at just $399 for the Moose Lite and $699 for the Moose, but they actually have some Black Friday pricing going on, at least at the time of recording this, which bring those prices down to just $279 and $489, which is an absolute steal for a 3D scanner. Second, there was the Incl, a spatial 3D scanner that creates full 3D models of entire rooms, buildings, or even cities. Now, let's start talking about Filament. Polymaker came out in full force, as they always do at these kinds of shows, showcasing their Panchroma and Fiberon lines. Most of this is not new. In fact, you've probably already seen me printing with a bunch of it lately, but if you haven't seen their latest edition of PPS-CF, do check it out. It offers metal-like strength and characteristics, and it's kind of the ultimate filament in terms of rigidity, strength, heat resistance, and printability. This stuff nice. If, however, you can't afford that, fear not, because Sunlu has now added PETG+Teflon to their lineup at something like, I think, $35 a roll, they said. Now, this is probably going to be the most affordable carbon composite filament that has some engineering capacity that you're ever going to encounter, so do check that out. If, however, you need something a little bit more colorful or more exotic or esoteric, you will want to check out FormFutura's new product line. They showcase, honestly, a ton of exciting new filaments and concoctions, as well as some fully 3D printed modular booth pieces that I thought was really ingenious and a great way to save on waste from these one-time use booths. But for the everyday consumer, probably the most exciting new development from them is going to be their colored PETG+CF, which offers printability, dimensional accuracy, heat resistance, and of course, impact resistance, all without being locked into just black or gray. I'm looking forward to hopefully trying some of their filaments pretty soon, so if you've used them before and have some to recommend, do let me know in the comments which ones I should try first. Another filament manufacturer that was showcasing some really unique and exciting blends this year was Fiberlogy. They showcased a lovely TPU-CF and explained to me why such a thing actually should exist. And as I found out, this odd couple of materials results in a print that is heat resistant and rigid with the characteristics of great layer adhesion from TPU, while still maintaining great impact resistance due to a very small amount of give. So basically, this stuff is fully indestructible. Additionally, they showcased a PETG with Teflon additives for ultra low friction and a CPE with silver oxide for antibacterial properties. Now, according to Fiberlogy, this stuff is actually so antibacterial that you can use it for food or medical stuff without any post-processing, which is pretty cool. Now, with so many companies coming out with higher and higher heat filaments and offering them to us lowly consumers and hobbyists, you might be wondering how the heck you're going to dry all of these. After all, some of these filaments require 100 degrees C to properly dry. Well, fear not, because Sunlu has announced their new E2 dryer, which can dry up to 4 spools of filament all the way up to a staggering 110 degrees C. Now, this will be great for drying those nylons, PPSs, PCs, and more, but it won't come cheap. If they let me announce the price, then I will put it right down here. So yeah, probably not for your average hobbyist, but we should have one in the studio soon, so do stay tuned for that. All right, one last bonus round before you go. Remember Kokoni, the upside-down printer and multi-material system that launched on Kickstarter like forever ago and then never shipped? Well, not only are they still in business, but they also have a new lineup of printers. This one, I was told, is an upgraded version of the one they offered on Kickstarter with a larger build volume, and this one is a scaled-up version of their kids printer, which integrates with their own vertical AMS system. And they both actually were working just fine in the booth. The Sota goes for $9.99 or $12.99 with a combo, and I'm not sure what's going on with the Kickstarter printers, but it was nice to see that this company is still alive and kicking, since I know many people are still waiting for their printers. So those are all of the most interesting consumer products I saw at FormNext. But for those of you who are following along at home or on Twitter, or even attended the show yourselves, I would love to know if I missed anything in the comments below. And for those of you who made it to the end, I'd love to know which products you're most excited about. I read or try to read just about every single comment, and I really love interacting with you guys. Anyways, that's all for this week, but I'll see all of you on the next layer.